Alright, welcome back to the Idaho Panhandlers. It is officially planting day here in North Idaho, and we've just got about 13, I believe I counted, pepper and tomato plants that we're going to be growing, and I wanted to get them planted in the 12 bucket container garden and in the other little garden areas that we have here in our tiny 10 by 10 enclosed garden area that we built just a couple of weeks ago. So if you guys have been following along for the last few weeks, you'll know that I actually just planted my potatoes here a couple of weeks ago, and then off camera I actually planted a couple more, but just today I noticed that we got our first potato sprout through the soil, so that was pretty exciting. And now that we finally have temperatures above 50 degrees at night, it's time to plant the rest of the garden. So we're doing it all in buckets, and then we have this half Jack Daniel's bourbon barrel that I bought from, I think, North 40 that we'll plant the rest in. But I just wanted to show you guys how we're going to prep our buckets really quick. And essentially we're just using a drill with a 3/4, or this is a 5/8 spade bit. It's the only one that I had. But we're going to drill into it, and I'm going to drill 5 holes in the bottom and then a few holes on the side, and all that will do is promote great drainage when we get our plants planted. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do that to all of our buckets, but that should promote really great drainage for our pepper and tomato plants, or whatever you might be growing in your container or your bucket. So before we actually get to planting, we've got to make up our soil mixture. I'm actually making up my own because we have quite a number, because we have quite a number of plants to plant. And first, what we've got here is some compressed cocoa coir. So it's kind of an alternative to compressed peat moss. So I probably only got about 1/3 of the coconut coir block here in the tractor, but it should work just fine. And now we're going to do 3 equal parts of what we have here, which is we have a bag of compost, and we have just some premium garden soil, and then we have some manure. Now the nursery that I bought all of the soil from only had chicken manure, so we're going to give it a shot. It should work just fine. Typically I would use steer manure, however. So our compost. This is our planting mix, our premium garden soil. And then this is our chicken manure. All right, that's quite a full bucket. Next we've got some perlite. It'll kind of work also to improve the aeration of the soil. Oh yeah. Okay, officially time to plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant one of our peppers on camera here, and then basically we're just following the same exact process for the rest. So we'll do one and do the rest. Let's get after it. So my plan is to fill the bucket just below the rim here. Right here we've got some bone meal. Just gonna take a small handful, sprinkle it right on top. And what this does, it'll provide a nice source of phosphorus and calcium to the plants. Next up, blood meal. Again, small little handful. We're just gonna sprinkle it here on top. And what this is going to do is provide a nice source of nitrogen to the plants. All right, next up, we're just gonna flood the pot. I wanna get about 2 to 3 inches of standing water here on top. All right, you can see we're draining. Now by flooding the pot right now, we ensure that one, we get the entire pot or the entire bucket and its soil completely saturated. And two, We just put all the bone meal and the blood meal down in the soil, so when the roots grow down and they finally get down to the bottom of the bucket, they'll have nutrients. Time to add a little bit more soil, about 1 inch from the rim. Time to plant. So right here, we've got one of our, I think 4 or 5 jalapeno plants. And now we're just gonna punch a hole out. Kind of like so. Put the tag at the front of the bucket here. Easy peasy. Now we're just gonna pack the soil back around the plant. Okay, so right here I've got a couple, they're about 2-foot garden stakes. You can find these pretty much anywhere, but they came in 4-foot lengths and I just cut them in half, roughly. And now all we're going to do is we're going to stab them into the soil in a triangle. Now the idea is as the plants begin to grow, they'll at least be supported around the base. Here we've got some small little pepper and tomato cages that we got off Amazon, and these things are kind of cool. But we'll initially see how we do. But again, we're going to kind of form them into a triangle shape, kind of like so. These are a little bit different. They definitely are smaller than I intended them to be. So we'll see how the plants do as the summer goes on here. But that should do. And ideally, it should all support the pepper and the tomato plant nicely. But they definitely might outgrow these, so I'll probably end up investing in some bigger tomato cages as time goes on, but these will work for now. Let's go ahead and re-water. And this will be 1 planted jalapeno plant. So I think I got caught up in filming, but on the last planting of our first jalapeno, I actually forgot a step. So now that we've got our pot all filled up and watered once, we've got to make our hole. And I forgot that in the hole that we make, before we actually plant the plant, we want to throw a little bit more blood meal in. And a little bit more bone meal in here. We'll do that on both of them and all of them from here on out. And where I'm learning a lot of these steps, you guys, is actually from YouTube, and it's from a channel, and I wanted to shout them out. It's known as Hollis and Nancy's Homestead, and they're a much bigger channel than I am, but I am using a lot of their techniques, and their channel's pretty entertaining, and they're just, oh man, and they're just so full of information and good garden knowledge that I'm kind of just using their techniques as best as I can here, and that's what we're using to grow the garden. So I wanted to shout them out, and I'll throw a link to the video in which I learned a lot of these techniques from down below in the description box. All right. A little bit of blood meal. A little bit of bone meal. All right. Here we go. We have a lot of peppers, man. I didn't realize I bought as many as I did. I think in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pepper plants, 2 tomato plants. And we're gonna have a lot of peppers. My plan is, I think 5 or 6 of them are all jalapeno plants, and I plan to just do a lot of pickling. Those are my favorite thing right now. And we'll probably end up making some hot sauces and you name it. But it's gonna be a lot of fun to see over the next 1 to 2 months to see actually how they do, and hopefully they'll start producing fruit soon. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoyed kind of the process of how we planted all these and you want to follow along to see how they all do, be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the Idaho Panhandlers, and we will see you in the future. And stay tuned for some update videos on how the garden's doing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.